Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. We're continuing our conversation with our guest panel. All right, so they did a Father's Day edition of the Red Table Talk, and Kevin Hart opened up about it to Will Smith about fatherhood, specifically his daughter checking him for his past behaviors regarding his current wife, Aniko Hart, and his ex-wife, Tori Hart. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Kevin revealed that his oldest daughter, Heaven, does not hesitate to call him out for his actions, especially when it involves disrespecting the women in his life. Now, Will Smith took over hosting the duties of Red Table Talk for the one-on-one candid conversation with Kevin Hart about his ups and downs of fatherhood. Kevin spoke openly for the very first time about his public scandals and how they have impacted his children, especially his 16-year-old daughter, Heaven. Who always checks him, in his words. He says, my daughter was tough on me. Until this day, my daughter is tough on me. And he was talking about how she pretty much told him how disappointed she is and how that impacted him, because he said prior to that, it really didn't bother him that well until he has to explain to his daughter about his behaviors. She also checked him on the fact that how he speaks publicly about his first wife, her mother. And he said that she said, I'm just being funny. And he said, it doesn't matter, Dad. You're a dad. I know your son's very young, Mike. What did you think about having to maybe one day explain, some of your mistakes to your son? What do you think about that as it relates to his conversation?
See, I'm an old millennial, so like all my mistakes not online, number one. So that's a good thing. That part. But I think it's one of those things we all kind of, when you have children, it's just one of the things that has to happen. I can remember, as a kid, my parents talking to me about different mistakes they made in their life. Kevin Hart does kind of go too far though. Like his last comedy special, like when he was talking like kind of crazy about his daughter, it's like that's slightly unnecessary. But I get it. He's trying to stay relevant, but I feel like nobody is more of a mirror than your own child. You know what I'm saying? Because like I feel like anybody else can kind of you can almost question their motives. Your kids love you. You know what I mean? They love you unconditionally. Like, or if you have a good relationship with them, they don't love you with any type of like, motive. So I feel like, the fact that his daughter does check him, one, that's good that he has somebody that can kind of call him to the carpet. But it's just, I think it's one of those things that all parents kind of, have to face. One day you're gonna have to answer for, stupid mistakes. So, just keep your internet trail clean.
Right. What are your thoughts on this, Savage?
Kevin Hart is a mess. He really is a mess. But unfortunately, I think about that a lot when you see these scandals coming out, and you think about their children that are old enough to see and recognize and read all of the things about their parents online. I know that he's been in the news recently. I haven't followed it very closely. Just some of his comments were going back and forth with one of the TV hosts, not Jimmy Fallon, but one of them. Anyway, my point is just, as
what's his name? Yeah, on HBO. Bill Meyer.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Meyer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I am not the biggest Kevin Hart fan, so I'm trying to check my bias at the door. But right. I do think that, unfortunately, and even pre-social media, if your parents did some stuff like have a baby on, the woman, there's plenty of women that have a light-skinned baby and with green eyes, and the husband might be dark-skinned too. I know a couple of people like that. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's not something that's generational where secrets come to the light, but just anything you say or behaviors, all of that is discoverable online. Like think of it like you taking it to court, right? Like they could discover some stuff on you, but Kevin needs to, he's getting up there. So I think he needs to kind of check his behavior, but I don't know. I think it's interesting that his daughter saw that, and hopefully he can manage that with her, and it won't become a complex that she has to work through when she gets older in her relationships.
I saw today on one of the shows, she's an actress on Grownish, and she was saying that her father cheated on her mother, and it was never discussed. The mother stayed; she never discussed it, and so when she got old enough to start dating, she put up with that kind of behavior because that's how she was raised, and even to the point that she lost respect for her own father. And so she said one day he asked her, what happened to, such and such, the guy she was dating. And she said, well, we broke up because he did this to me. Her dad was like, I've taught you better than that. Why are you doing that? And he said, well, that's how you treat my mom. And she said they never talked about it since. Andre, when you think about Kevin Hart talking to his child, I mean, because I know a lot of us grew up in where a parent, I'm the parent, stay out of grown folks' business. What do you think about him actually having this conversation with his daughter and being transparent with her?
I think having a conversation is fine, but then, to be honest with you, it's kind of irrelevant. Just wait for the next special thing. That's kind of how it plays out. The daughter is not going to really just own him. She's just upset the fact that some things is not funny, Dad. That's just normal. I got a daughter, you know what I mean, and I understand, those type of things. Those conversations happen, and everything else. The scandal part, look, it's Hollywood. Somebody's going to be sleeping with somebody. He's being interviewed by Will Smith, who we all know about his situation, his scandal with his not ex-wife, excuse me, his wife. So that's just normal stuff. I think it was cool because you don't really get to hear the fact that the daughter's checking the dad about this stuff. You know what I mean? Like I said, he ain't the first person. There's been many daughters who have celebrity fathers or just fathers in general who has a reputation for running around sleeping with women. So, it's nothing new, but she just, because he's a celebrity and the fact that he's saying that she can go up there and say, hey, it is what it is. As far as her trying to defend her mom is a comedian. I don't think that was like I didn't understand that part of it. The jokes was funny. And he knows the limits that he can go to, and what is said can't be said. She probably just didn't feel comfortable with him, and probably just stated her claim, and that's pretty much it. But I don't think it's anything wrong. Like I said, I have a healthy relationship with my daughter. She's just turned, well, she'll be 14 in a month, and I'm getting into that teenage, years, and I talk to her about everything. I ask her questions. I'm one of those fathers. I try to be all up in everything, not so much controlling, but I'm just trying to let her know that she can always talk to me, even though I know kids need to keep some stuff from, their parents and stuff like that. I get it. I was a kid as well. So, but I see that it's healthy that he has a great relationship with his kids. That's probably the only good thing about it, and that's pretty much it. At least he's telling us he has a good relationship.
Yeah.
We really don't know.
Right. And I think because the fact that if he's being honest with her and they're able to have these conversations, she'll be able to respect that as she becomes an adult. But Chike, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm not really the biggest Kevin Hart fan. I'm not a hater, but I'm just not one of the biggest fans. I find him to be annoying. So what we're witnessing is the rebranding of Kevin Hart, in case you haven't noticed. The scoundrel is turning into the family man. He was on the Red Table. He has a new movie out on Netflix called Fatherhood. So the movies that you'll see Kevin Hart in moving forward will probably be family oriented. He'll be the dad, or he'll be the good-hearted guy. No more Kevin Hart, the scoundrel, the lady hunter. No more of that. He has to rebrand because that's his real life.
Yeah. That's true.
Am I the only Kevin Hart fan in this room? I think I'm the only Kevin Hart fan in this room.
I don't dislike him, but all right, so
yeah, I'm the only Kevin Hart fan. I'm the only one here.
All right, well, our last story. All right, so we all know the word Karen, the name Karen, and now there's a movie about her racist shenanigans coming soon to theaters. And the audience is getting ready for a new trailer that dropped last week. Now, Karen is played by a woman named Taryn Manning. Corey Hardick is in the movie as well as Jasmine Burke. And we get a close up and personal with a racist white woman who intends to make life miserable for the new black neighbor. So apparently, this is a what-to-do African-American family. They moved to this neighborhood, and Karen is not down with it. And so the director, his name is Coke Daniels, they asked him why did he want to come up with this concept. He said last year during the global pandemic and civil unrest, I, like many of us, felt anger, despair, and hopelessness. He said the overwhelming amount of support from people around the globe who want to see change has been an inspiration. Now, Karen, she's a racist white woman who makes her mission to make it truly uncomfortable for the new upscale black family and has moved next door in Atlanta suburb. Karen's neighbors are community activists, Malik and his wife Imani, who have to go through hell and back to deal with Karen's increasingly unhinged behavior. Now, when Terrell Manning, who plays Karen, she was asked why she took the role, she said, I felt social responsibility to take on this role, even if I had to play the villain to affect change around the globe. When I was more than willing to step into this role. What's been going on is devastating. It's time for change and for me to be part of a bigger picture. It meant a lot to me. And the release date will be announced within the next couple of weeks. Savage, what do you think about this concept of the Karen movie? And do you think it's an important film?
Oh, well, I do think that it is important in the sense that, we'll get a black director's take on it. I don't like the idea of monetizing that behavior. I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way. But I had to look at the actress, and she played in Orange is the New Black, and she had a similar disposition there. She was a little method and racist. So I don't know. I think I don't think that she's gonna have to go too far out of.
He's the perfect for the role.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I think just the concept of these people that feel like it's not only their privilege, but their responsibility to call the police if they see a black man sitting on a bench minding his business. Mm-hmm. I do think that does need to be memorialized in some way, and maybe it is in a movie. You know what I mean? Like, people might not read books. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a good or well-directed movie where there is some type of lesson that comes out at the end. Right. So I can't say I'm going to rush to watch it, but if I hear good reviews on it, I'll certainly take a look.
Right. And Chike, you're a movie review expert. Do you think this movie will affect change? Do you think it'll change anything, or do you think we stuck with Karen's for a long time?
So as you're explaining the story and you're going through the story, I'm thinking that the only way this movie would be really successful is they would have to make Karen super funny. Like, she would have to be beyond funny. And I personally, if I was making this film, she would be a sub character. She wouldn't be the subject. And how the casting is perfect. Carolyn Manning is going to nail Karen because she is Karen. I don't know her personally, not her personal life, but she can play that. She plays it very well. So it has its potential.
And Mike, I saw the trailer. I don't know if you did. It's like a spoof to me. What do you think about this with this movie coming up?
So when you read it, it's actually like a horror film.
Right.
And I think that's, like, to me, that's the part that undermines it all. Like, because, like, okay, for one, I'm not a horror film guy. Like, I'm not the one, like, I'm not rushing to see blood and gore. That's number one. I didn't get the impression that this is a blood and gore movie, but it's a horror film. I feel like because I kind of stand with Savage in the sense that it's like, maybe this is the thing that will get the, like, conversation going in places that a book or that, a Black Lives Matter rally, the way they'll view it. So it's like, maybe this is kind of the catalyst to kind of get the car, going in a different direction for a different group of people. But then to make it a horror film, and look, I'm all for, like, Black directors, giving Black actors, as many opportunities and, as much visibility as possible. But I just feel like, one, like Chike said, they're going to make Karen the focal point. And then, like you said, it's gonna either become a spoof or, you know, everybody's gonna get so caught up in the intensity and the horror of it that it kind of loses its effect. And I feel like it is important commentary. It's something that really needs to be addressed. And my hope is that Karens would actually see themselves in it and realize how, like, they look like a clown. Like, leave people alone. Like that would be my hope. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Andre, we be going to see this movie?
No, probably not. Definitely not. I might watch it on. I might watch it on cable or something if it hits. This movie probably will be a success. You know, it looks like another attempt of Jordan Peele movie a couple years ago. You know, and you know, I'm just, you know, I don't know. I like black filmmakers making these films that they want to do, but if I gotta, you know, literally turn to the director and ask them, what was this movie about? You know, like I don't need to. I want to watch a movie. I want to be entertained. You know, make a good movie. I mean, if it's a horror movie, make it a good horror movie. I'm not a horror person. I'm like Michael on this one. I don't like horror movies, but if it's a good one, then that's great. You know, if you want to have a message in it. You know, you want to have some meaning behind it and all that stuff. I mean, that's great. You know, it's not wrong with it, but you know, why does it have to be some movie? Just you know, make a movie about what you're really trying to say instead of trying to, you know, beat behind the bush. Like I want to be entertaining, but I want to be moving. It's like, you know, it's like to me that's not entertaining. It's very hard to do. Some people pull it off. Most people don't. And I mean, I like the actors. I just looked on my phone to see who was because I didn't recognize none of the names you said. But yeah, I like the actors. I hope it's a good movie. I'm rooting for them, you know. But yeah, it's not. It's probably. I mean, Mike ain't gonna watch it. He just said it's too scary.
Really?
A Karen documentary would have been 2 thumbs up though.
Yeah, I mean that would have been cool. Cool.
Well, we'll see what happens when it comes out. We'll see how good it is. But I want to thank our guests tonight, Andre Dickerson Savage and Mike Sanford. There'll be links in the bio to where you can follow them on social media. Chike, I'll see you in movie reviews. Thank you all again. And right back after this with movie reviews with Chike and Adam. Right back.